It's Thursday, June 8th, and this is your Coffee Break News Brief on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Chaplinsky with the latest local news. Greenwich police are at Greenwich's Binney Park today to search for more evidence in the discovery of human remains last April. Now, the Connecticut State Police Dive Team, Greenwich Police, and the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection are involved in the search. Investigators are looking for additional material or more remains that were discovered in the park. The search is focusing in the contaminated tidal areas in the park. The Greenwich Time reports that town workers clearing brush and debris made the grisly discovery in a wooded section of the southwest corner of the park in April. Authorities don't know how the remains came to rest in the town park, and police said the fatality was not a recent one and there was no threat to the community. Well, Strafford police and firefighters were searching Wednesday for a man who jumped off of the Washington Bridge into the Housatonic River. Strafford police identified the missing man as 26-year-old Tavares Harris of Florida. Police said Harris crashed his sport utility vehicle into the protective railing at about 12 in the morning Wednesday. Police, firefighters, and civilians had yet to find Harris in the Housatonic River, and that investigation was ongoing yesterday. Police Captain Frank Iannotti said officers responded just after midnight Wednesday to the report of a man who had jumped into the river from the bridge, which connects Strafford and Milford. Iannotti said the man tried to drive through the railing on the bridge before jumping into the water. But you can get updates on that story at StraffordStar.com. In other news, the 15-year-old Waterbury girl who was shot in the back during an attempted car theft early Monday morning on Holda Lane in Ridgefield is believed to be part of a group of criminals responsible for several stolen cars in the area. Now, that girl was brought to Waterbury Hospital later Monday morning. Ridgefield police told the press Tuesday that she's expected to survive. According to police, nobody has been charged with any crimes, and Police Captain Jeff Kreitz would not respond to inquiries about how many shots were fired during that incident or if the girl was armed during that attempted theft. He also did not reveal the name of the homeowner. The investigation remains open, and Kreitz did say that the group, which includes 4 other teenagers, could be connected to a series of vehicle larcenies and stolen cars that happened in Ridgefield earlier this year. The Ridgefield homeowner was woken at about 3 in the morning, according to the report, and the girl was dropped off at a hospital around 5 a.m. by another teenage girl. You can get more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. And Governor Daniel P. Malloy announced June 6 that he signed legislation that will strengthen the state's domestic violence laws. The bill, which was approved by unanimous votes in both chambers of the General Assembly, expands the conduct that constitutes stalking to include conduct that causes a reasonable person to suffer emotional distress. It also specifies that electronic or social media are among the methods, devices, or means by which conduct that constitutes first or second-degree stalking may occur. The bill also broadens the strangulation statutes to include suffocation when a person obstructs another person's nose or mouth, and it increases the penalty for violations of release conditions when that violation involves certain conduct. It also requires an investigation for anyone convicted of a family violence felony for which a prison sentence may be imposed, and prohibits such a defendant from waiving that investigation. And finally, the Weston Volunteer Fire Department has given Bart Kelleher a certificate of life-saving for pulling a young woman from a burning car on Tuesday, May 9th. Kelleher saved the woman's life by reacting quickly, according to Deputy Fire Chief Terry Blake. That incident happened around midnight on Old Reading Road when 42-year-old Kelleher awoke to what he described as a horrific-sounding crash. Kelleher lives near a big curve on Old Reading Road and has heard accidents near his house multiple times in the 5 years he's lived in Weston. He said, "I ran outside and heard a young girl calling for help. He said my parental instincts kicked in and I went to the scene." Well, while they also called 911, Kelleher ran to the scene of the crash and said he saw a mangled vehicle stuck on rocks and trees. He noticed a rear window was shattered and the doors to the car were too crushed to open. He then pulled the teen out through the open window and waited with her for EMTs to arrive. Well, there's more at that story at thewestonforum.com. But that does it for this Coffee Break News Brief. Be sure to pick up a copy of your HAN Network community newspaper out today, and watch us tomorrow at 11 for your Coffee Break.